Have you ever invested time, energy, money, and effort to get a new certification, and at the end of the day, there was no job, no promotion? Hey, I'm Elois Roth, and today I would like to share with you 5 hints that I did learn over the years and with my experience, and I hope that this can serve you. When I moved to Australia, this back in 2020, there was a lot of trend in this cloud computing space as we have today yet. So I just thought I will get some certifications, update my resume, I will update my LinkedIn, and I will update my Seek profile with all those certifications. And this is what I did. So when I landed back in Australia, there was a little bit of a struggle for me to get into new roles. I didn't have a lot of local experience to talk about with people. I will share with you what really helped me here to get into the job market. So let's jump into the advice number one. The reason number one is the lack of practical experience. And what I did when I came here in 2020 in Australia and I was talking with new companies, I did some research and I came up with a good expression when I was opening the interview conversations. Like, I would tell the hiring manager or people that was interviewing me that something like this, like, hey, I just became a certified recently in Azure administration. I did learn a lot of new cool technologies and I'm really keen to help the business implementing them. And I would try to open the conversation like, hey, and what are the challenges that the business is facing right now? Sometimes I would receive hints from the recruiter like that they were trying to implement automation or they were trying to modernize their technology, and I would try to pitch like this sentence trying to tailor a little bit to them. And I believe that was really helpful because some of them, they didn't have people with the new skills like I did develop during the certification, and I would try to demonstrate that even though I didn't have practical experience, I was showing interested. I was showing that I was really willing to help the business with that new technology that I did learn. But let me elaborate a little bit more why it's so hard when we don't have this practical experience. First is getting certifications, like it's not really hard, like you can even hire someone to do the exam. So there is a little bit of bias, like when we see people with a lot of certifications, like and I wasn't aware on this at the beginning of my journey, like and it's something that now I talk with people that I'm trying to help on this area, that it's really good to get that first certification or second or third, but sometimes just stacking a lot of certification. That means that you understood the theory, you can pass an exam, but how that applies to the business? Can you really articulate your skill set and how that can help the business? And that is the main challenge that I feel this lack of practical experience can represent to us. Now, let's jump into the hint number two. And the hint number two is certification over emphasis is bad for you. Certifications, they don't resolve problems. What resolve problems are the skills. So as soon as you start like noticing how your skill can apply to resolve a specific problem, that's what really catches the attention of people, and it's really what business they are looking for. Company, you did resolve some problems using that skill, now you're going to resolve for them similar problems and new ones that are coming up. I never talked about certification, like the certification was there, people they kind of got like the attention to my resume, and that's it. We moved on the conversation to talk about how I did resolve previous problems in other companies and how I could resolve for them. And with that, let's jump now to the next hint, that is the hint number three. Remove any outdated or irrelevant certifications. If you have any certification that is not related to the technology that you are working on, remove that. If you are trying to niche down what is a I really recommend people to do, and it's the case that I did. Really try to avoid any old stuff in your resume that can lead to the impression that you are working with those old technologies yet. And also, so I would really try to focus as well in a single role, in a single skill set that you are trying to work on, and that will really make you distinct and relevant in the marketplace. So now let's jump into the hint number 4. Be in a position to be found. Have your LinkedIn profile up to date with all your details, your tech experience. Be really active when you're looking for this transition, to be applying and also be exposed in these social media networks. I came to Australia, was applying, was being exposed, was talking with recruiters, was getting hints on what was working, what organizations were looking for. I really believe if you develop a strong foundation, if you develop a good skill set that is really relevant to the marketplace, you just need to be found, and there are companies looking for that. And the hint number 5 that can be holding you to get a new role is weak resume and weak interviews skills. And no shame on that. I was in that space before because I did this transition from Brazil to Australia. I was really bad on my English communication skills. I couldn't express myself, like all the experience that I had, all the technology that I did use. And also I was running a small business, so some of the interviews, like people would challenge me, like, oh, like if you are good, like as you look on paper. Sometimes the interview would finish really quickly because I didn't have like all the ability to communicate. So if you develop that conversational skills, you need to be able to share the experience, convey what you did before, because that is what will get you hired now, that track record that you have. For instance, when I get in on my resume, initially there was a version that I would have there, configured a load balancer. It doesn't mean anything, like anyone can configure a load balancer. But once I did write there, configured a load balancer to increase the availability of the platform of the business, reducing audits, that's something that really catches the attention. And during the interview, I can talk about that. It was an issue that I did identify, I did spot that problem, I did raise with my team that we could resolve that. I did a proof of concept with a new technology. I did bring the technology, I got all the approvals, and I did deploy that technology. That's what really gets you hired. And leave me a comment what you're looking for on these tech careers and also in this cloud space. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Cheers.